Hello and welcome. Today's topic, mutes, and how to potentially destroy one or make it really cool. Let's find out. So firstly, what is a mute? A mute is used to dampen, distort, or modify the sound of your instrument in some way, in our case, a trumpet. There are many different kinds of mutes for various purposes, such as the harmony mute, the plunger, the solo tone mute, there are many more mutes. So many mutes. For the love of God. So many mutes. But for our experiment today, we'll be using the straight mute. There are many kinds of mutes, ranging from very, very cheap to very, very expensive. Generally speaking, the cheaper kinds are usually made of some kind of cardboard or plastic, and they have a very dull sound, which isn't the most desirable, but if it's what you have, it'll get the job done. The super great ones, or the super expensive ones, have a great metallic pingy sound and have little to no resistance. Resistance is basically how much air the mute blocks, since you're pretty much just putting a giant thing blocking where the air and sound comes out of your instrument. Ideally, you would like a mute that doesn't have a lot of resistance, since that can affect tuning and how the instrument feels and a whole other bunch of things. If you look at the midline priced, average Joe Schmo mutes, there are a few options. There's a king among them. That is the Denis Wick Straight Mute. It's a good mute. It's aluminum, it has the great pingy sound, but it has a lot of resistance. Now, as a musician, we want the desired sound to come easy to us, and for not a lot of additional effort to be extended for something as simple as a muted trumpet part. We might have a solution to fix that with these mutes. Now you might be saying, Joe, just spend the extra $20 to $30 to buy the nice mute that doesn't have the resistance and gives you the sound you want. And my answer to that is, where's the fun? What average high school kid or even college kid has $70 lying around to buy a mute? Like, I'm gonna take this affordable 7 out of 10 rating mute and try to make it closer to a 10 out of 10. Now, lucky for me, I have some inside information on how to possibly do this. Speaking with my trumpet professor at a lesson, and he shared with me that when he was back in college, he took one of these very, here, Denis Wick Straight Mutes, and cut off the black part along the top, and then sanded down and cut the corks so it fit closer into the trumpet. And he says it made it play a lot louder, it had a very percussive, bright, pingy sound, and it took away a lot of the resistance. So for this experiment, I have two of the same mutes here. Although this one is a gold color, it is essentially just an aluminum mute. If you can look under where the chipping is on it, you can see that it is just aluminum underneath. So these both sound the same. This one is mine, this one is my friend's that I'm borrowing. And to make this experiment, to cut off the top part here and the corks, I have a small pocket knife that I'm borrowing from another roommate to try to shave down the corks a little bit. And then to cut through the aluminum, I have this little handsaw here that I found, or that a friend found for me and got me in a garage. Let's see if it works.
5 minutes later.
Step 1 complete. I removed the black felt off of the top, and hopefully that will make it easier for me to cut.
2 hours later.
I have made a small hole. This is gonna take a very long time, isn't it?
2,000 years later.
We're about halfway done.
1 eternity later.
It's coming off. All right. Phase 1 is complete. All right, so we have the first half of the mute done, which is shaving off the top. I'm gonna give this a little play test and see if it feels any different than it does before. So already right away. That definitely feels different. I think what's happening is that it feels easier to put more air through the mute because the diameter that we've now created is larger than the standard one, so there's easier to get more air through it. So the second phase of this is that we're going to shave down the cork a little bit and get a little bit tighter of a seal on it and see if that makes it even better. Alright, so we're back at the bench. We have our little knife. We have our corks. We're going to go just very carefully. Aluminum is sharp when you cut it. She certainly ain't pretty, but you know what? Let's see if it gets the job done. I definitely feel a significantly less resistance on this now. I can get a lot brighter of a sound out of it compared to a standard one. I'm going to see if I can get some thoughts and opinions from some other trumpet players.
The next day.
Alright, hello everyone. This is my friend Anthony. He's a music education major at Rutgers Mason Gross. He is going to give his raw reaction to the two different mutes. So we're gonna see if he feels a difference. So go for it.
It's just the normal everyday average. Yeah, this feels a lot more buzzy. Like it feels a lot more like everything this strives to do, but it just like takes it and pushes it into like the smallest like sound. So like on this, I feel like if I try and play really loud, like it's kind of like the same sound, but and
that just gets into the softer.
Yeah, this like that's way more
pingy.
Yeah, it gets way more. Yeah, pingy is a good word. And like it was way more crisp on the articulation too. It made it a lot easier. I didn't have to try as hard.
I think it's because the diameter now on this one or on the modified one is much larger than on a standard one. And since the corks are also shaved down, it just gets a much tighter seal, so more sound.
Yeah, because this one, it feels stuffy. Like it feels like I'm losing some stuff.
I mean, I think this one can almost fit inside this one now. But yeah.
That's awesome.
You heard it here, folks. It works according
to
two people.
It does work.